Good afternoon. One more Saturday and one more occasion to say hello to all my lovely friends from these top colleges of architecture. And those of you who tune in sharp 12 are really must be wondering, how is it that we do these things on time, where anywhere in the world, even attending classes happens to be late. Everything happens at its own sweet time and pace. That's because of the real attention to precision and quality focus that Team Locator brings. I hope you enjoyed today's show because it's got something for everyone. And with that, why don't I go into beginning our screen share so that we are all witnessing this wonderful festival. Soon there is going to be the Festival of Colors, but for now, you can think that I've preponed wholly for you with this beautiful welcoming pennants across the sky. As many colors as there are my friends, as many colors as there are these colleges, as many colors as there are landmarks created by you, or going to be created by you and your predecessors. It's a wonderful profession to be in, and I hope whatever we are doing helps you stay the course and improve your knowledge, and in the end come out winners. And that's really what the How To Festival 3.0 promises, because it's discovering products through the online classroom. And it's powered by, as you know, Locator, and that has been since 1995. Which is like a pretty long run for any brand to stay the course and just give service. You haven't been charged a dime for this, and nobody's been charged a dime in the last 25 years, 26 years either. So the Architect and Designers Knowledge Platform is something which is meant for professionals as a service from Locator. And we're always grateful for the partnership of LIC, who silently and quietly back us so that we can do all these things for you. And who is you? You are all the students from these wonderful colleges. And I believe we're getting a good record number of new students today. So then you need to know, new students, that you're part of a committee, which from A to Z includes Amity School of Architecture and Planning, all the branches, Dubai, Gurugram, Gwalior, Jaipur, Kolkata, Lucknow, Mumbai, Noida, and Raipur. Bharati Vidyapeeth College, Pune, BIT, Ranchi, BMS College of Architecture, Bengaluru, CCA from Chandigarh, IES College of Architecture, Mumbai, all the top colleges, ITM University, Raipur, Jadavpur University, Kolkata, Jamia Millia Islamia from New Delhi, Guwahati College from Guwahati, Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur, NIT from Raipur, Rachna Sansad from Mumbai, Rizvi College of Architecture from Mumbai. And in addition, rolling the scroll, RV College of Architecture, Bengaluru, SCET Architecture, Surat, School of Planning and Architecture, also known as JNAFEU, Hyderabad, Siangat College, Pune, the Sir JJ College of Architecture, Mumbai, Shushan School of Art and Architecture, Gurugram, Thakur School of Architecture and Planning, Mumbai, Vaishnavi School, Hyderabad, and Watson's University, School of Planning and Architecture, Hyderabad. So with this illustrious lineup, and these are absolutely the top of the heap colleges. So the students also represent the top of the heap student, and I'm very, very pleased to be with you. We have this little pet who keeps popping up from time to time. I hope you like her, and she's back for a quick reminder. And what is that reminder, pray may I ask? It's really a cute picture, isn't it? She says, your search ends here. And the search is for, if you're looking for information on 187 product categories, which comprise of 1,800 product units, SKUs, you get the information, namely technical specs, contact details, and much, much more. And all of this is brought to you and curated, especially on the online material museum, which is Locator, the parent company which is now 26 years old. And you'll find all of this on www.locatorindia.com. The number of times I have repeated this URL, this website address, it must have got into your head. Locator, which is to seek and find, India, where we're proud of, locatorindia.com, the universal extension. You can go your entire career, during your entire career, and hope to get information updated as always. This little birdie says, what's in it for me? And I think it's just a pleasant way of saying that what's in it for you. And as students, there are a whole lot planned today. First, as you know, there will be 4 quiz questions, 2 questions each with MCQs in part A of the presenter at the end of the part A, and 2 at the end of part B. But who wins? The 4 all correct fastest fingers first. This is the algorithm which is run. So you really need to be fast on all the 4. But even if you got 1 incorrect, then that wouldn't make sense. So get it both. Get it all right and be quick. And you should walk away with those 1,000 rupee Amazon vouchers, which are meant for you, 4 of them. And there's another 4 for the best engagers of the day. This is for quality suggestions and inputs, and we get a whole lot from you. And I have to say that Mrs. Iyengar, who leads the team to ensure the selection that should be qualitatively good and fair, has a tough time on occasions. The differences are in small percentiles, but maybe that's the way it works. And of course, there are 4 questions which you ask on the show regarding the product presentation which has taken place, and they have to be the really bright ones. And bright and beautiful questions get you those 4 Amazon vouchers worth ₹1,000. You saw this post yesterday, possibly, the certificate of participation. A lot had been spoken about in HTF 2.0, so we frankly did not focus on it here, but let me take a moment to mention. Each and every one of you who's attended will receive the certificate of participation, and you can keep it so that when you're sitting across at an interview, at your internship, there's a little extra heft you bring to the table over someone who has not been there, because you are deemed to have been more knowledgeable on products, the latest in products, versus the other person who's sitting in the room waiting to be interviewed. So if that makes any difference to you, collect the certificate. It's yours for free because you deserve it, because you attended the show and you imbibed whatever we were passing on to you. Similarly, you're also entitled to free visits to Archive the Locator, which is via the Locator India website. And you get to see all the information which has been presented on Locator How to Festival 1 and 2, and soon enough 3 as well. So if you want to ever go back to any of the things which were presented, you want to just pick up some PDFs, just want some technical specs, you just want a model number, you don't have to go through Google and a million products and then come to what you want. Just go to Archive and you'll get it all there. A quick flashback to the last festival, HTF 2.0, because we had some really standout performers on that show, and those included these lovely colleagues of ours, and all of you from the respective colleges, you know who they are. They would have made a mark for themselves in the college, as they did on the show. And this program, today's program, we are highlighting 3 colleges who participated last year, in addition to the others which have already been presented. School of Planning and Architecture, Hyderabad, and all those winners last year came from SCET, JNFU, and from Sihangat College of Architecture, Pune. This is a customary roll. Audio okay? Thank you, team. This day last week, who were our winners? Who were the lovely, fast, bright, incisive engagers of the last show. And there they are. Congratulations to the quiz winners. That's Kriti Vanshika, Jignesh Pandey, Bhavi Vora, and Sanidhya Singh. We also have the Q&A, which was won by Anamika Tota, Siddhi Sangai, Pallavi Srivastava, and Reshmi. And finally, the engagers of the day. Siddhi seems to have locked herself into that position. And there you are, Siddhi. Congratulations again, Sahil, Soham, and Anamika. So with that, I want to ask you, are you ready? My friend is back. She says, are you ready? And what does she say? She says, they say you can run, but you can't hide. Wow. And does that mean anything to us as architects and planners and designers? Definitely, if you're even thinking about building up the security or using security solutions for any dwelling premise or office or a commercial place, then our speaker today, guest speaker, and we are here to welcome him, Mr. Manoj Khadkikar, who is head sales and marketing for the B2C division at Godrej Security Solutions, is going to throw a lot of light on you can run, but you can hide. See you on the other side.
Welcome to this session of How to Festival 3.0 by Locator. My name is Manoj Khadkikar from Godrej Security Solutions. I head the B2C vertical in GSS. In this session, what I would really like to do is to introduce you to one element that typically has been missing when you are designing any solution for your customers. Each and every architect and designer, of course, has a design brief. And what we would like to introduce is this element that is missing for a long time. But before I get on to what exactly we are talking about, I will give you a small introduction about Godrej & Boyce. Godrej & Boyce has been in existence for the last 127 years. We are present in about 10 different industries with a turnover of about $1.5 billion. We are present in 80 countries and we currently have over 14,000 employees. Every day, more than 1.1 billion customers interact with one or other Godrej products. And with every interaction, the trust that they have in Godrej brand increases. As you see, these are the different verticals that we are in: aerospace, engineering, tooling, construction, material handling, storage solutions, locks, and security solutions. Locks being the oldest division, which is 127 years, and second oldest is the security solutions. But in a nutshell, we are there from securing your space to enabling journeys into space. When we talk about Godrej Security Solutions, the first and foremost thing is that we are one of India's leading solution providers in the space of security. But now that we know that we are a dominant player in the security space, what I would like to discuss about is when you, the architects and developers of India, building the future of India, when you get a project brief, you definitely have a list of design briefs that you currently have, and you plan your solutions according to those. And the typical solutions that you would work on would be having a design which has good ventilation, structured cabling, insulation, plumbing, lighting, storage solutions, design trends, and all these are the critical parameters on which you will define whether the solution that you have designed is perfect or not. However, if you are even compliant to all the previous design briefs, you are definitely missing something as a part of your solution to the customers. The missing element is the smart security solutions. Why am I saying this? When you look at the current structure of solutions that are being proposed to customers, be it a residential requirement or an enterprise requirement, only 3% of this is with a home security solution. That means 97% of the solutions are without security. So the question is, why is it that it's only 3%? There are a lot of reasons for it, but I think most of you would agree is that the current mindset that we have is it's all about karma. It won't happen to me because I am a good person. Nothing bad will happen to me. And that mindset basically also reflects in the kind of security solutions that we deploy currently. Be it a watchman securing products which are hidden somewhere, or leaving the security to animals. All these are the traditional forms of the security being offered. But if you look at all these, one thing is very, very clear. Whatever solutions, this conventional security solutions that are being deployed are definitely not enough. And therefore, it is definitely time to look at what is it that we need to do to get an holistic solution from each one of you. And then therefore, then you look at what is it that defines a good design for a residential requirement or an enterprise requirement. There are two elements that you definitely need to look at. One is comfort, and second is peace of mind. And I'm sure most of you would definitely be working on the comfort part, which is, of course, your core competence. You design each and every of your solutions to ensure the maximum comfort to your customers. What we get to the table is through our products and services, we deliver the peace of mind that a customer also wants. Therefore, a combination of this comfort and peace of mind is what is definitely required to be given to your clients. When you're defining a great design, you definitely need to ensure that it definitely comes with the responsibility from your side to make the smart security a basic amenity for each of your designs. You have to ensure that there is an action over the anxiety. Please remember, there is always a small amount of anxiety in each of your customers about the security, but they don't end up acting on it. Therefore, we have to ensure that they understand the need for security and therefore act on it. And act on it not later, but now. It has to be done now at the time when everything is being done or built. So how do we do this? How do we give the complete 360 degrees solution to your customers? First and foremost, be very clear that as a part of your brief, you need to have these security solutions. So let me just give you one example. And I'm sure this is something that each one of you focuses on enough time while you're designing a solution. Wardrobe is the center of, so to say, universe when you design one solution. And when you're designing a wardrobe for the dreams of the customers, what you definitely look at is how good is it aesthetically, functionality wise. But all this is incomplete if you don't have a locker as a part of the wardrobe. A wardrobe giving enough of security to the client to keep his valuables is what will make him happy. besides the good aesthetics and the functionality and the design that you definitely give, please ensure that this becomes a part of the solutions that you give. The second one is the peephole. All the doors of Indian homes have peepholes, but please remember, peepholes are an old school of thought solution. It needs to get a modern solution that needs to be given to the customers. In our security parlance, we talk about a 3-layer security that needs to be given to each and every home. The 3 layers are the layers of outer security, the middle security, and the immediate security. And this is the entrance level solutions provided by multi-apartment door solutions, the video door phone solutions that we give. Besides this, what we also give, besides the security, is the comfort of knowing and having the peace of mind of knowing who has come at the door of your house, whether you're inside the house or sitting in your office. If somebody rings the bell at your house, the app that you have in your mobile phones, you will be able to see, speak, and give access to the person through the app. And this is where we, so to say, marry the comfort and the functionality of security for the video door phone products. Before I move on to the other part, I think I will like to take a small break, and I'll meet you after some time after we complete the quiz period. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you for all the background work that one needs to keep in mind when planning the security of a place, which, as you rightly pointed out, usually becomes an afterthought. It can be expensive because the products themselves can be fitted, but then there's so much of rewiring and there's so much of refiguring, configuring. It always makes sense to take it ground up. So you get it right the first time. And that's what design principles teach us. Get it right the first time. And in this particular case, security solutions, usually the one which is left for the home dweller to look into, can be your responsibility, and they would thank you eternally. Ultimately, everybody wants to feel secure once they shut their doors and the windows. And if you have enabled that, they would thank you evermore for that. So what do we do at this stage? We generally say, I don't know if you remember this old song, which is, and I don't even recall the artist, but say, let's get quizzical. And who was it? I can't really remember. If any of you have heard this song, let's get quizzical, quizzical, quizzical. Tell me who it is. But for now, we're moving on with the quiz, which is part A. And as you know, and we have got several newbies on the show. So what we do is we ask 2 questions. Both of them are MCQs. You have to answer it very quickly. The charming thing is, if you are attentive to the last 10 minutes, the answers are embedded in that. So it's open just for 5 minutes. So without any further ado, use the link on the chat box. And your first question is, in security solutions parlance, meaning language, how is security planned? A, basis the budgets available for a project. B, basis existing security equipment available. C, basis the show-off value, badging of using the latest gizmos. And D, basis the requirements of the outside, the middle, and on the inside. If you heard Manoj and his presentation, you should have no difficulty finding the right answer. Moving on to question 2, effective security at the gate, at the entrance door, I'm sorry, is your options: a sleepy watchman, B, a peephole, and C, a grill door, and D, a Wi-Fi video door, 4, operatable from anywhere. Very, very difficult questions to answer if you haven't been listening and been on the show, but otherwise, easy peasy. Are you set for some more learning? Then let Manoj come back and share.
Welcome back. I'm Manoj Khadkikar here again from Godrej Security Solutions. I was talking about the kind of elements that each one of you need to have as a part of your solutions being given to your customers. And one of the elements that I talked about was video door phones. The second one is giving a CCTV solution to your customers, because whether you're designing either a apartment or a bungalow or an enterprise level building, security through surveillance cameras has become an integral part of this. What you need to do is to not just propose a smart surveillance system to your customers, but also act as a consultant in telling them which, where, and why do they require these cameras, which gives them 24/7 security. And again, the comfort as well as the security comes hand in hand, because you will be able to see all the feeds of the cameras onto your mobile through the mobile apps. Now, coming inside the house, the other element of security is alarms. And the by default question is, why do I require alarms when, let's say, I have a good lock at my house, I have a watchman in my complex? The alarms are basically triggers which help you make your inner sanctorum very, very safe. The kind of times that you definitely require security and alarms is, let's say, when you're going on vacation, there's nobody at home, and you need to know the moment if anybody breaks into your house, either by breaking a window, opening a door. All these are something that are triggered through our security alarm, home Wi-Fi, home alarm systems. And again, there is a local alert given to the people there by the hooters, and also a pop-up on your mobile saying, hey, somebody is broken into your house. There are different types of alarms, but what is definitely there is, without them, if in case nobody is at home, your home is still not that safe. Besides the solutions that I've just talked about, which are, let's say, inside the home, there are solutions which are required at your gates. The flap barriers with temperature control and face detection is one of the solutions, typically used very, very actively in enterprise solutions. The boom barriers with maybe an additional automated number plate readers are something that are again used in enterprise and are slowly being used by residential complexes. These are the things that you can definitely look at. One additional element, and very, very interesting for most of you, is this concept of a locker, not in the banks, but in your residential complex. Imagine that instead of going to the bank, which is cumbersome, which may not be available when you require, and of course, you have to walk, let's say, 10 minutes away from your house with the jewels that you want to carry and keep in the locker, in case all this functionality was available in your residential complex. The second, it's safe because there is restricted access. Only you can get to see what you are keeping in your locker. It is automated, so only your box with your credentials comes to you, and you're able to keep your valuables for a safe time. The second version of this would be, instead of the automated locker, which is auto vault, we have something called SecureNext, which is a locker system, almost like the banks, but you don't need to pay the rentals that you have typically pay the banks, and it is available 24/7 for you. These are solutions that you typically need to have and propose to your customers. I agree that there are a lot of other solutions and brands, but one thing that you definitely have to back you up is the Godrej brand. The moment you talk Godrej, it means that there is a company which has a 127-year-old legacy of trust. Each and every product is made and built to the internationally certified quality, because we operate in 80 odd countries. And any brand without an unmatched service network will always fail. And we are very, very proud about the kind of service levels that we have been able to achieve across the length and breadth of India. And to help customers connect to us and get any kind of help from us, we have a 24/7 multi-platform helpline. With all this, that gives you the peace of mind when you propose customers a solution which is designed smarter and safer for their benefit and comfort. Thank you very much for taking time out, and I really look forward to you actively promoting Godrej Security Solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj, and thank you for all the insights and actually a smorgasbord of security products. And this is not an area which is actually covered in the curriculum in any great detail. So your 20 minutes have been very well appreciated, because I'm sure that this highlights what designers can do at the planning stage. And of course, for more details, they can always turn to the archive, where we're going to upload your presentation, your PDFs, and technical information, the range of products you have, and they can always get in touch with you through us if they have any more questions. Talking about questions, I think we have a few. So just let me do the needful. Give me a second and say, can you see my screen, guys? Yes. Manoj, are you there? Before that, I just want to know if Manoj has joined the party, because I want you to be on standby, Manoj. We're going to do the Q&A in a couple of minutes. The quiz time again, folks, which has got the same story for the newbies. Part B of the quiz, the link is posted in the chat box. It's open for 5 minutes. Now let's see those compelling questions and what you have to say for that. Quiz question number 3. Effective surveillance within premises is achieved by, what are your options? Having an elder available at home to keep an eye, or even better, staying at home yourself to keep a watch, or using smart surveillance systems operatable from anywhere. And of course, none of these work. It could be any of these answers, but if you heard Manoj, he was pretty clear in what would be the best way to secure a premise. So go for it and hit the right answer. Question number 4, how can a residential complex secure the gate entry? A, by posting a toughie at the gate, by using automated boom barriers with number plate recognition, or locking the main gate and opening it on hearing a car honk, happens all the time, or just leave each flat owner to arrange their own security, which is also pretty much easy peasy way out. But you know what's the right answer if you are attentive to Manoj. Talking about Manoj, I see that he's on the panel. Manoj, camera on, I can see you. So then it's time to do a live chit chat with Mr. Manoj Khadkikar, who's given us all those lovely insights on security solutions. Hi, welcome to the show, Manoj. Just unmute yourself. I think you're muted.
Sorry. Hi, Ramesh. It's great to see the kind of enthusiasm that I'm seeing from all the participants.
Yeah, it is. In fact, thanks to all the, you were so precise in your choice of points, and I know my students very well. They get bored to tears with long theory and whatnot. But in Marathi, they say, "Na thodkyat sangitla." If you give it to them in a nutshell, it's good enough. It opens up the whole world. They can always interact with you and learn more in their day jobs. Now, how we do this, Manoj, is I'm going to ask you the questions that come. As of now, I think we got a 2-score amount of questions. But usually on the show, because of the 10 minutes that we have, I curate, my team curates the lively ones, the edgy ones, the bright ones. But we will request you to answer all the questions for our archive, because we don't want to leave anyone unanswered. Okay, with that, and obviously in the interest of time, you can be, I don't need to tell you this, you're very precise, so you can be, brevity is the soul of wit and all that. So without any further ado, jump into it.
Sure.
Let me start with a question which is actually, I think, built in. The answer is built in because you answered it later than the question was asked, time-wise. Soumyata Gorai, who is one of our newbies, who's come on the show probably more recently, or at least I've not heard Soumyata ask these questions before, says, what are the features of a built-in locker, Godrej built-in locker? My answer would have been, it got answered by Manoj, but she asked around the time when you're talking about wardrobes. So you want to make it, maybe focus on the features of a Godrej built-in locker.
So see, the thing is, if you look at a typical house, and I'm talking about the wardrobe locker, if that is the question about. Now, usually when you design a whole system, you would find the right place for keeping a locker. Now, usually it is in some other location. But what the trend that we're really seeing right now is having a separate space within the wardrobe for the lockers. Now, functionality-wise, of course, it's the same. It's a safe place to keep. But when we talk about, let's say, what are the benefits? One, of course, is that you have different ways of access. You can have a key, you can have a digital number lock, and you can have, let's say, a fingerprint, all those things. Secondly, we also measure wardrobes in terms of strengths. So a locker or a home safe is, let's say, 250 times as strong as, let's say, a wardrobe. So you could have different types of safes in a wardrobe based upon the functionality and the type of access that you would want, and of course the dimensions and the strengths of the lockers that you would want to do. I hope I've answered the question.
Certainly, and given that we need a precise answer, your answer was super precise, and more of that, Soumyata, you'll find on the archive for sure. We'll have documents, we'll have text sheets, we'll have the range, we'll have any user videos which they have created. All of that will be available to you for greater there. Let's move on to another question. Raj Chakrabarti has asked, what are the justifications we can give clients to convince them to spend more on security solutions? If they have a mindset that traditional options have already worked, and why does it need change? If that's their thinking, how do we convince them?
So the first part of the question is common to each and every security solution. The amount of money that you invest is like an insurance. You are insuring against a much bigger loss that may happen. So at times, or the initial phase, you may look at it as a big investment or a higher investment that you have thought, but in the long run, you would definitely be able to justify these kind of investments. And frankly, it is not a big investment. The misconception is that it's a long time that you will need to get an ROI, but believe me, it's affordable solutions that you would get when you start implementing these solutions. And the second part,
yeah, please.
Sorry, I just missed the second part was related to.
Just about traditional options have already worked.
Okay.
So I think it's covered in the same thing. That
I think just one line to that. As technology improves or upgrades, so does the knowledge of the robbers who also upgrade themselves in terms of way to get into a house. So it's not a question that, okay, I'm comfortable with the conventional things. We definitely need to keep upgrading our technology continuously.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, that was one of the questions asked, and I'm going to club it together with this answer. Sherbano Javadawala had said, what is the cost factor for middle-class families? Manoj, I think the answer would be embedded in what you said. There's a variety of solutions. So cost is not one finite thing, but they're very affordable in relation to the total project cost, in total interiors, or in terms of the potential loss that you might incur for being lax with your security. Would that be correct?
Yeah, in a different way, if I were to say, the cost is more or less equal to the cost of 1 square feet of retail space that your customer would buy. So if you're buying an apartment which is 1,000 square feet, the cost of 1 square feet is more than enough to scale.
So that's a 0.01% of the total investment.
Yes.
Wow. I just took an average flat size. Somebody might have a bungalow and become 0.001 also.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to Ritesh Chowdhury. Ritesh says, how long do outdoor security cameras batteries last, and do we have to charge them?
See, there are two types of security cameras. One is, of course, connected to the AC power, so there's nothing like you don't need to have a battery. If you have a battery backup based cameras, then you typically will have a 24 to 48 hours. The newer versions of outdoor cameras, specifically where outdoor locations, there is a new technology which is solar powered cameras, so you can actually have them continuously working. So it all depends upon where the location is, how far, and of course the availability of electricity throughout the day.
Then there's a question here by Anamika Thauta, who's one of our regulars, and she generally walks away with one of the quiz or the question answer or the engager prizes. So Anamika's question is, what will be the level of the app provided by Godrej? Can we even have a number locking system with the video door, phone to door, so we can change the number lock from the phone, accessing it from anywhere? So essentially, what are the versatility of being able to remote access the locking or the phone or the camera?
Okay, so I have not got the exact question, but if I understood the way that I think is what she wants to know is, with the app, what are the functions that you could do?
Yes.
Okay, so one is the app, the video door phone, so to say, streams video directly to the app. Therefore, you would know if the moment anybody rings the bell, one, you will straight away see who's rung the bell. If there is certain movement happening in front of the outdoor unit, you can also get that alert also. You can do a two-way communication through the app. So sitting in my office, I can speak to the person who's rung the bell outside my house. And then you also have certain of these devices through which you can do unlocking. So there is a combination of the video door phone and the locks through which you can unlock the door through the app via the video door.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask you a question which is kind of related but different. Is there any optimum combination of digital security solutions and traditional security systems that we should aim as designers? Raj Chakrabarti is asking, as a designer, what is the optimum combination of digital security solutions and traditional security?
See, there is no optimal combination, but I think and it varies from customer to customer because their risk appetite also varies. Therefore, what you typically would do is, one, assess the risk for your customer. If it's a bungalow, that means you need to guard it in all sides and also guard the inner rooms. You would also, let's say, look at, is there a way that you can get the information even if somebody were to cut the power? All those things is something that you will define. But whatever the basic thing, of course, is there are traditional methods of securing your premise. You need to add layers of security depending upon the risk assessment in terms of, okay, the gate needs to be monitored. The door needs to be monitored. The living room needs to be monitored. If there are kids, then you would definitely require a camera to monitor your kids. If there is a place where, let's say, you keep all your jewelry of the house, then you require some way of securing that space and also having a locker inside the house. And what we also looked at is some combination of putting an alert if anybody opens the locker also for home safe. So it all depends upon assessing the requirement and then giving the right solution to your customer.
Fair enough. So there, I'm going to, we have 37 questions, Manoj, and it's impossible to take all 37. We got as many, we got more questions than the number of minutes we had. But let me squeeze in 3 more. Are you good for 3 more questions, Manoj?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Sherbano says, cost for middle class families. I think that got answered.
Yeah.
Sherbano is basically beautifully answered. Let's say 1 square foot of the value of the property should take care of ample amount of security solutions over there. I think so that kind of gives you a good ballpark to work with. Somyata Ghurai asks, we know half of Indian homes don't have security systems. You'll probably say, as your presentation said, 97% don't. Yeah. So that's a metric I got. So basically, what is the main problem for this? And why is there this lack of awareness? Is it the Limbu Mirchi story?
Definitely. Limbu Mirchi. And so also that, let's say a traditional home will always say, okay, if I want to know who's outside, I will put a peephole. But the peephole doesn't give you the functionality of, let's say, speaking to the customer. If you don't know who that person is, definitely people will show you the person, but you will need to interact with him. Hey, who are you? What do you come here for? You need to understand. Other people need to be told, okay, if somebody is wrong, your parents are, my parents are there, my kids are at home. I need to be assured that everything is taken care of. So all those functionalities are something which right now are, so to say, not given the high priority. But as we evolve, as technology becomes ever more pervasive, internet is everywhere, this kind of then becomes the way that you will live, the new normal, so to say.
Absolutely. So this is actually linked to Soham Vishwakarma's question. His one question is, I want to ask vulnerability to hackers, because in today's time, we know there are lots of people working smart and working smart at hacking too.
So see, the vulnerable to hackers is on two fronts. Hacking where your data goes. So if it's hosted on a server and therefore you are able to hack into the server and then get onto whichever things, therefore you need to ensure that there is decent amount of control over where the data is hosted. And that's where we, of course, are very, very particular. It's not, the data is not hosted outside of India. It's on a server which is verified. And we actually are very, very proud that the kind of the efforts that we take to ensure that the data privacy is on. The second one is, see, so to say, if you look at the current security solutions, not all of them are data driven and hosted on the net. Let's say a video door phone is analog and a little bit of digital. Alarm system works on a local Wi-Fi and it could be not related or connected to an outside system. It is just connected only for the alerts that needs to be given out. So there also the hacking level is very, very less. But as you know, technology of hackers is increasing. Therefore, we also need to upgrade. And as we see going forward, the technology will also keep evolving for a better level of security.
Of course, when you are managing someone's security, you have to find ways to be the most secure to begin with. There's an old adage, you have to be a thief to catch a thief. So we've got to keep applying that logic. I'll take one last question. Sorry, Manoj, do you want to say something?
No. Please, go ahead.
One last question from Kirti Valsan. And the question is installation of these products easy or does it need professional help? I think it's time for a commercial plug from you.
So one is, it is very, very easy. Typically, if you look at the way the whole industry has evolved, you will have electricians being comfortable doing a wiring for a CCTV camera and a solution. A video door phone requires two endpoints, an indoor unit and outdoor unit, and a cable which runs and connects with them. So it's not too technical, so to say, that we require professional help. What you definitely require is a good partner who will be able to understand the product, position the right product to you, and then do the installation, which is basically the wiring and the cabling. And in case it requires, let's say, a configuration, then you require a partner who's well-versed in understanding what are the right ways to configure. So that's where we come in. We have a good partner network across India, and we consistently doing the trainings for them so that you don't have the issue of not knowing who the right person or the right partner is, who will be able to give you the right solution and implement it as quickly as possible without any kind of problems or issues for the same for you.
I think that's an answer very well made, because your weakest link in the chain might simply be improper installation where somebody can just cut the wire or can just reach out to the camera and just deface it because that's arm's length. You know, it's a very basic thing, but only a professional will know how to hide the wires so that they are not open for tampering with. And I'm giving just as a lay person, I'm not very lay, but somewhat late to say that there's so much. If you're spending that kind of money, work in the professional and do a complete job. which is what all our students, by the way, we closed with 49 questions. I think that's some record, which also tells me, Manoj, that possibly there's a need gap in this category where this is not taught in, schools and colleges, because it's evolving, it's changing.
Yes.
So maybe there's more we can do as time goes by to engage with students and, definitely in the future to make more students aware of our products and solution. With that, let me thank you for your time. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for your, sharing. And we look forward to our team will reach out to your team and get all the documents so we can upload it for everyone. So with that, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Most welcome. So now, students, we are back and doing what we want to do, which is the last leg of our time together after the chat with Mr. Manoj Khadkikar. I saw your comments on the chat box, students, and I think you'll really appreciate it. The easy, simple ways that he answered. Look forward to more of that on the archive. I'm sure those 48 minus 8 questions that are asked, 40 of them will find answers over there. With that, moving forward, let's say, first of all, as I said, thank you. Now, a word from our sponsors. As you know, we've had LIC as a partner. They've been really strong, and all of this knowledge sharing would have not been possible for so many years, and 26 years of Located's existence also they've been partnering. They couldn't have been possible without them. So a word from them.
My journey of insurance and investments began at the same time when I invested in LIC SEEP. In this fast-moving world, SEEP can balance your funds with security and growth. SEEP will take care of the ups and downs of the market and will give you fruitful results so that you enjoy the ride. And when SEEP is with you, you can soar high!
LIC's unit-linked insurance plan SEEP offers savings and protection so that you can soar high in your life. LIC, हर पल आपके साथ.
Time to announce the winners of the day. Those quiz questions which got some snappy answers from some snappy fingers. And can I ask Asha to do the needful? Team, Asha, our silent background worker, she's been collating and she's been working with the software, and only she has the answers, which I am going to reveal. Yes, Asha, who's in the top 10? Suspense. Right on top, Rai Chakrabarti, Sahil Sarbajanan, Shivam Kumar, Kirti Valsan, Nafiza Ali, Vartakisha, Shivam Kumar, Yunus Sayyed, Vaishnav Kadam, and Jaiman Matre. So each and every one of you get our compliments for making it to the top 10 out of, I think, hundreds of participants. So then what happens? Asha, suspense again. And the winners are Shivam Kumar, Vartak Isha, Yunus Sayyed, and Nafiza Ali. Congratulations, and you richly deserve the 1,000 rupee Amazon vouchers, which will be yours for being snappy at answering these questions. And what do we have next? Do not forget, we have 2 competitions for you, and they are very important. I'm highlighting it at the end of the show so that all of you know that this is something which is open to you all and for you to benefit. Let's take a look at the first one. As you know, the GDL, that is Godrej Design Laboratory Portfolio Competition and Student Fellowship, is on. What's in it for you? 3 winners will receive a fellowship, which is an internship of 3 months with Godrej Constructions. The date is February 20th. The submission portal opens at godrejdesignlab.com. You don't need to actually write it out. This will be posted and will be mailed to you. There's an emailer coming. By the way, we rely also on emails, not just the posts on the group. So anytime you want, like you get your links for the show via email, you'll find everything in the email box. And take a look because it could be of value to you. And this is for all the students and recent pass outs. What do we have in addition to that? Have you started thinking yet? You have till 27th to get your innovation entry ready, which is 150 words with an illustration. So I said today, my dear students have seen the IWish program. So I said, I'm going to give you some examples of innovations, of thinking, of innovative thinking to get you going. And these, by the way, will not win you prizes because these innovations are already in the market. Let's just take a look at the first one. What you see in this picture should tell a story. There is a top part where there are these two lovey-doveys sitting and playing the guitar and doing whatever they're doing. But what do you see below? They cut off from the rest of the world. And this is innovation, my dear students. This idea must have hit somebody, and from that spark has become a product which is now marketed worldwide by a leading brand of fenestration called Fenesta. I think they're in the market in India or they're on trial basis, but definitely as an example of innovation, there's piezoelectric quartz technology, which is now embedded in the glass. So with the flick of a switch, when electricity is passed on to the quartz, it becomes opaque. So no need for blinds, no need for roller blinds, no need for curtains, no need for, just take the full height and get a wider view and bing, make it opaque with the flick of a switch, and bing, make it clear with the flick of a switch. Now, yes, you've seen this technology in Japan, Sharbano, but it's available here too, and it's available courtesy Fenesta. But what point am I making? The point I'm making is innovations, innovators. Any product that you use can bear with your thinking. And you guys are smart. I know that. I've been working with you for a long time. So go ahead, join the IWish competition. Let me give you two more examples. All right. And what you see in this picture is a beautiful internal door, wood finish, deep, would I say, walnut, and with grains. And I believe when you knock on it, it sounds like wood, but no marks for guessing. It's a steel door. And steel doors offer you the maximum security, life of 15 years. They're extremely eco-friendly compared to wood, and there are so many other properties. They are flush fitted. The company does it, and in this particular case, it was Tata Steel who have made an entry with these steel doors called Pravesh. This is for the main door as well as internal doors and places you want restricted access to. At the same time, it has all the functionality and beauty of wood. Now, how would you like that for yourself and for your customers? Where did it come from? Someone's innovative thinking. It could be you. Let me give you one last example to tickle your buds. What you see is not a well, it's a close-up of a simple SWR pipe. Now, this is the same pipe extruded with the same amount of plastic, but different. And why is that? In tall high-rises, when you have flush water, and the embarrassing sound that it comes hurtling down in the middle of the night, it really sounds like a mini earthquake for those who are in the low floors. This company has thought of a sound damper. How ingenious is that? This is an invention and an innovation. They have given the outer inner wall with a sound barrier. Just because of the corrugated feel, sound acts as an insulation for the water vehicles. There is a reduction to 57 dB, if I remember my facts correctly. That's a hell of a lot from some 140 dB to come down to. So this is again the spark, and this is done by the way by Kitec Pipes, the company which we had a presentation from last week. So what are we saying? We're saying that innovation is nobody's preserve. It can be yours. And if you were to join the IWish competition, then this is what happens. In the IWish competition, you are joining the Challenge for Innovators. It's done by Locator, and it's an exclusive competition where the top 10 innovators get recognition on all our digital assets. Today, getting recognized, I think, is a lot more than the 2,500 rupee Amazon GV that each one of the top innovators will get. Your entries need to be 150 words and an illustration. So what's next? We're going up to the next week's show, which will be time to catch up on LAFS, which is Locks, Architecture, and Fitting System. And who's going to do that for us? we are going to have the expert from Godrej Locks, and the division is called LAFS. So it's not just about Kadikunda locks, it's about architectural hardware. It's about those lovely things which make all the kitchens work so smoothly. It's about those patches in cabins, which you can, there are so many inventions, so many innovations in hardware fitting. It's amazing. And you'll be there Saturday, 26 Feb, 12 noon. You'll get a good deco into the range of solutions. So that's it from me, friends, and my team at Locator and the behind the scenes people, the technology team. Adios, amigos, as they say, till we see you next Saturday, 12 o'clock, for 60 minutes of power learning. Bye-bye. Enjoy your week.